Alright guys, so I am back with another video. I can't use OBS for whatever reason, it just lags the video. Whenever I'm playing back this video footage, it's all choppy. I've tried everything the YouTube guys have said will fix it, and it doesn't fix it, so whatever. Anyway, let me just go ahead and go over the changes that I've made. So I made some changes to the generic retargeter. I'll go over those. I've also, actually, let me just go ahead and show you this first. So on the default level, I have my own version of the game widget, animation widget now, and it should work. I've verified that it works on a cloned GitHub repo build. So that's fixed now. So the IK retargeter, let me see, do I have it open? Maybe not. I'll just search for it. Yeah, so this was a change I made on the interp static local transform. I added this right here, and this gets triggered by the value of the disable hand IK. So that's coming from a curve on the main NMVP called disable hand IK, which is a curve on these montages. And so when it's blending into this montage, that value will go from 0 to 1. And when it's blending out, it'll go from 1 to 0. So that allows us to get smooth interpolation in and out of these static offsets for the IK retargeted characters. So that's the change I made to that. On the slot actors, basically, you know, the holsters. So on these guys right here, and this is actually one too, it just doesn't have a mesh. I don't know why. I should give them a little gizmo or something in there. I'll have that in the next one. Yeah, I'll have something in there so that you can see it in the level. I forgot what it's called. Anyway, that's not important. So what is important though is that on these guys, because they're not actually using the character data right now, I've disconnected this logic on their master blueprint so that this message and this message won't be displayed on the screen whenever you pick them up, or they're attached to the character. Later on we might take advantage of that, but right now they don't have that stuff set up. So anyway, so that's the other change I made. So I'm going to go ahead and go over this because a lot of people are like, oh, you know, it looks so bad. The wrist is completely collapsed like a twisted balloon. Yeah, weights by themselves, just one single bone, does not have enough strength to prevent wrist collapse when you twist the bone 180 degrees. And sometimes it's not even enough even at 90 degrees. Definitely not at 180. So that's actually what corrective bones are for. And these guys actually have a post-process volume or post-process animation blueprint. And these are pose drivers that are driving poses for the corrective bones. So those corrective bones are being driven from these post-process anim blueprints. And they're just animation blueprints, just like a regular animation blueprint. You don't have to run 2 animation blueprints. You don't need a post-process and anim blueprint. You could have this running on your main anim blueprint. Just let that be known. It may not actually be ideal to have a post-process because I'm not 100% sure if the post-process causes the skeletal mesh to be reevaluated a second time per character, but I do believe that it does. And that's one of the biggest hits when it comes to animation is the skeletal evaluation. So it may be better to have that on your main anim blueprint if you're, using characters that are consistent. All right. So yeah, these characters right here, these mocap single body characters, they do have skeletal mesh deformation issues. Some of them have finger problems where the fingers aren't weighted properly, and a lot of them have problems around the shoulders and stuff like that. These are mostly just meant so that you can see generally how things are going to look on your character. They're just props, really. They're not, metahumans are modular. They're not full body characters. Okay, so moving on, I made some changes inside of here to fix some issues inside of the linked anim layers. I'm going to go over that now. So one thing is the IsReadyToFire, which tells the character blueprint. If I go over to the character blueprint, I can show you. I know where it is. So over here on this logic here, you'll see we query the linked anim layer instance, and we call this blueprint interface function, and we won't let them fire the weapon unless we're fully blended into the aiming state. So on these linked anim layers, I have to track that. Like if they're fully blended into the aiming state, I cannot access the state weights externally. I can only access those internally. So that's what I've been doing. But there's a problem, is that when you first link an anim layer, if you're already in an aiming state, then what it does, I'll just go ahead and kind of show you. So it kind of skips all of this. None of this stuff fires. It just goes straight to this aiming state. There's no blending. There's no partial weight. It's 100% weight right off the bat. So because of that, if we were already aiming and we switched weapons, it wouldn't actually let us fire, because that new linked anim layer, its variable was not being updated. So its IsReadyToFire boolean was never being updated, because the on initial update, on become relevant, and the fully blended in, it never fired. So the on update does, though. So what I did is I removed all those functions and I just put it on the update function. And so if the current weight is 1, we'll just set that to fire. And this right here, pretty lightweight. It's not going to have a noticeable impact on performance. So I think this is okay. It solves the problem. Otherwise, how else are you going to know if... you can guess and just have like a timer which prevents you from being able to fire from the character blueprint, but this is more accurate, so this is the method I went with. You don't have to use this method. You can go over here and remove this and just set it up on a timer if you want to. But anyway, I did fix that issue. So another problem is that when we first loaded into these states, when we switch linked anim layers, there's no way to blend between linked anim layers. So once the linked anim layer is replaced, it's over. It instantly changes. The pose instantly changes. So you can't blend between them. So because of that, for a single frame, the pose coming, whenever this first got linked, it would run all of this and it would output a pose. But because I set this up to be for the poses to be dynamically changed and added during runtime on the linked anim layers, the first frame that this runs, there's no poses loaded. So what I needed to do is I needed to keep blending out of the last linked anim layers pose. So what I did is I set up a system where, and let me just close all that stuff. Oops. So over here on this, you'll see we have this right here. It's passing that last linked pose onto the main NMBP. It's setting it on there. And that is being set from these. So whenever these poses get updated, whenever it becomes relevant, or if it's changed during the update process, then it gets updated. And then back on our event graph, it's going to update the main NMBP. So you might think, well, whenever we change linked anim layers, wouldn't that be changed on the main NMBP? It does, which is why I have that on the sequence evaluator. I have it only being updated once when this first starts. So when this first fires, the last linked pose will actually be the last linked pose from the last linked anim layer, and then it won't be updated again until the next time the linked anim layer is changed. So whenever we start blending in, when we first link this rifle anim layer, it's going to be firing this. This is going to tell it to go ahead and start blending from this to that. And the blend time matches this time. And that's basically it. So I did all that, and I slowed down the pelvis blend time in order to prevent any hitches or issues there. Now, I have noticed some really slight issues that are only noticeable on the rifle in some cases during the animations whenever the linked anim layer is changed. During the rifle equip, for example, because it's a long rifle and just a slight change in angle will be noticeable. I may optimize this timing based blend in order to correct that, but the sudden hitch problem is basically gone now, so I've corrected that. Yeah, I've went over this. Character Selection Widget, I went over that. If you run over there, I have a custom one now. And then I'll just go ahead and go over this with you. So this is how it looks now. So not all of them have their own custom ones. For the males, only the mediums and the underweight. I made custom ones only for the mediums and the underweight. For the females, I only made them for the mediums and the overweight. So eventually I'll have custom ones for each of them. But this is an underweight one. But you'll notice that it doesn't look bad. It's not perfect hand placement, as you'll see right there. The hand does clip a little bit, but it's not like real bad. Now, something else to know is that I've matched the way that the offset of the rifle and all of the females' hands, they all use the female medium normal weights offset data asset now. I've deleted the other ones, so they're all using that same one. And for the males, I deleted all of them, and they're all using the male medium normal weight rifle offset data asset. but because of that, and because of the way that the IK retargeter retargets things, you may notice that on some of these characters, they may be holding the gun sideways. So on the females, this doesn't seem to be the case. As you can see, for the females, they actually look fine. But you'll notice that on the males, only the medium normal weight male is actually holding it straight. You'll see the other ones are holding it at an angle. That will be fixed. In the next update, I plan on having these use the UE5 scale tool natively. Let me see. Okay, this is the one that should be holding it straight. Yeah, okay. Now also, so I just wanted to show you that that problem was fixed. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go over the change that I made to the higher structure, the MetaHuman folder structure. So under the MetaHuman folder, we have this stuff right here. Ignore this. This was just a test. I forgot to delete it. I'll probably remove it in the next update. It was just a test. I wanted to make sure that this bodies thing wasn't loading things incorrectly, so I created a test just to make sure. Note, this DAO bodies is only for testing. It's only for demonstration purposes and testing. It's not meant to be an actual character blueprint that you use in your final game. I want to make that clear. But yeah, the methods I use to correct things in there, they should work in yours too. But yeah, you'll see that I have the gun, all the gun stuff is under the animation folder because this is all animation related. It's all data related to animation, which is why I have that under data and animation. And then the M4A1. And you'll see all the stuff that's related specifically to live retargeting for these characters is under their own separate folder. The char data is under its separate folder. And then the animation assets, the original ones that I made specifically for them are under this one. And the ones that I retargeted from them to the UEFN is under this. And then if you go under the UEFN folder, under Anims, Correction, Retarget, you'll see that I made retargeting assets for retargeting custom animations from these characters to the UEFN. And you can use those. So if I go over here to the MetaHuman to UEFN and I open it up, if I have an animation I made for the male, medium, normal weight body, then I need this source preview mesh to be the male, medium, normal weight body. If it was for the female, short, normal weight, then I would use the female short body mocap model. And then I would select her animation from here, and I would export it. So that's how that works. So you can just reuse this one as is. It should work fine. So back to the folder structure. Right, so you'll see that I made animation. I made modified versions of this animation that I made. I made modified versions for these MetaHuman characters. Now, the female and the male, I made normal weight for medium, short, and tall for both of them, but I only made a female one for the overweight. I only made one for the female. And for the male, for the underweight, I only made one for the male. Because for the females, the medium and, well, the underweight ones looked okay-ish, passable with the mediums. And I didn't have time to do all of those animations over the weekend. So, in fact, as you can tell, it's Monday. And it's nearly 7 p.m. and I'm just now getting this out to you guys. So I will finish making the rest of those custom montages. It's just a matter of hooking them up, replacing the ones that they're linked to right now with the new ones. So instead of the underweight one referencing the normal weight female, the medium normal weight female, it would, whenever I change that, it's all that's going to change is that it's no longer going to reference that one. It's going to reference the new custom underweight medium normal weight female. You understand? So there's no like, okay, I'll just wait for that update. You don't have to do that because it's just going to be a reference change. Unless I mean, if you're using the repo, it's going to be a quick change. I know a lot of you are probably using the direct download, so for you, yeah, I could see why you would want to wait. But anyway, that's up to you. But yeah, in the next update, I plan on having the metahumans using the UE5 animation system without retargeting. That's my next goal, is I want to get away from retargeting for any of the UE5 characters. And that's basically it. I'll see you guys in the next video.